Good morning. I hope everybody's doing all right this morning. I'm doing great this morning. Why? I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's because I woke up an hour before my alarm clock and I am wide awake. So if you were here or maybe even watched my video that I just put out yesterday, I was all suited up and I kind of gave an update about where Quick Intel was, what they are doing, the exciting things that are happening. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to jump into some of the basic details. Okay. Basic details of how to use the scanner. If you haven't seen any of those videos, or you just need a refresher, maybe they just look a little older, maybe the UI is just a little different, we're going to try to jump in there and see if it's really worth it. But first, this is what we're going to do. We're going to actually jump into a few things on the crypto charts. This is CoinMarketCap. The fear and greed, it is at 52. It's pretty neutral. The big difference from the last time I believe I streamed it was at 17. So that is interesting. And I'm going to make sure that I have all my right buttons on. Just so. Yeah. Don't mind me, just give me a hair second. I don't see anybody in here yet, so we're just going to try to. Yeah, I think we're good. So we're going to go about 40 minutes, if that, because it really doesn't take long for us to try out the scanner. So what we're looking at is Sui. Look how good Sui is doing. Check that out. Sui. Now, I may have made a mistake on one of my trades earlier this week. I had a token, and we'll look it up, called Pug with Pug with Hat. Our family has a pug, and I thought that was cool because one of those airdrops that we received as those Sui consoles was this token. And it was down low, and I bought some, and it jumped up 50%, and I took some profits, but I put it into USDC instead of throwing it into Sui because I thought it was going to just go a hair lower. But I read the charts wrong, and this is why you practice. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. And just in case things kind of unfold with a black swan event or anything like that, let's go to Bitcoin on TradingView and check those out. Just kind of seeing how, we're fighting right here. That happened at the beginning of March. Do I have Sui here? Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. This is the weekly chart. I tend to like the weekly chart a hair better just because not everybody gets a chance to trade. I'm not a day trader. At least I learned my lessons on that. I don't know my charts very well when it comes to that. And man, that just jumped a bunch from the beginning of the week on the 21st, 4 days ago. It was down at, even last week, it was down at $2 or just about. And let's see if I can Just 2 weeks ago. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, that hits 117, I believe it was, 171, and it has jumped almost 120%. So kudos for anybody who actually got into that on that dip, because that was about the same thing down here, 160. So I think with volume coming in, yeah, I think it was because of this. I was seeing how it was going down, and I thought it was going to continue going down. Then I saw volume start to go up, but then I saw this go down, and what are we going to do? I mean, this still could go down. If I am the 14th to the 21st, so the next one would be 28th, which is 3 days away, so it still could go down. But we'll see. Anyway, we were on CoinMarketCap, and we are going to look at Quick Intel. Now, if you are aware of Quick Intel, you can probably go to a few other streamers that can probably give it just a hair better detail. Laundart is one of them. You can always check out his channel. He did a lot of shorts for Quick Intel. Hey, and speaking of Laundart, hey man, what's going on, man? Laundart is here as well. He did quite a few shorts for this stuff, and I am not as good as a lot of people when it comes to the shorts. I can do a couple things, but when it tries to split screens and try to add the text, and yeah, I'm all right with that. But this is the scanner, and you can actually find the scanner in a couple places. This being the browser. If you have your phone, you can download it on Apple, and you can. Laundart doesn't stream. One day I feel like Laundart will stream again. I think he just got drained out from, I think a lot of people get drained out from that stuff. Just the negativity, and it shouldn't be that way when it comes to people or malicious intent or backstabbers or just negativity. And it was kind of a bummer how that all unfolded. Laundart doesn't stream. You are better than him. I think there are plenty of people who would disagree with you, but I will keep trying. You set the bar pretty high when it came to your giveaways and showing people how to do things, especially the charts. So I actually had a wonderful discussion with Laundart a couple weeks ago, and actually let's jump that to real quick. He was trying to show me, and maybe one of these days he can actually do this on a video to make it public, how it was kind of following the bull run of last time. And according to this, I mean, these are weeks. I mean, it looks pretty similar. Like you had that little pump there, which would be this little pump. If you shrunk that down, you can see this and that. That was the big jump. We came down, and if I understand this correctly, that should shoot up. And if we look at the measure from down here at its low to there, looking at 133 days. So if we did the same thing over here, 133 days from here, right about there, you're looking about August, maybe a little longer, September. I think he said October though. So we're looking at, I mean, it might be the whole November all over again. Nobody has ever had a wonderful discussion with Laundart. I wish I had the recording. I record everything he says because I'd love to prove that guy wrong, but since I haven't been able to prove him wrong, I have to delete everything. So anyway, I'm just kidding. So the way we kind of went over that. We're shooting for October, November. So one way he actually described that was the chart will go up and it will go down, it will go up, and then you'll have summer. Summer will look exciting and it will drop back down. I think that's what it was right here. Yeah. June, July, summertime, everybody wants to go on vacation or whatever, or crypto's dead and it's going straight down. But then when fall comes back around and then winter comes around, that's when it kind of shoots up. And then the crypto winter starts all over again. And this will be my first bull run, actually, to succeed and actually experience bear all the way to the very top. And then I will get out all the jitters, and then I will put my learning and experiences and my tricks and tips of, if you ever wanted to get into this stuff. I've been tempted to sell everything and be done with it, but people who are genuine, I kind of just want to jump back into it. But remember, it is coming up in the summer. Typically it stays down in the summer. So look at the end of October-ish. See, I got proof. Live stream. And this guy, Lawn Dart Actual, I mean, it could be a fake account. I don't know. But he is calling for October-ish. So now, price-wise, I have no idea. From right here, I'd say, I'm going to go back down here. October. I'm going to say at the end of October. How about that? So 190 days. We could hit the all-time high. I'm going to say just right there, where Bitcoin goes up 50K, 182 days, which means it could reach 125. And then you will see it. Actually, how do we say that? We said from there and drops down to 70%. However low it goes. 70 or 80%. So it won't hit the 15K again, I don't think. I think that's where it was right there. 15K being the lowest. If it follows its trend, we talked about how it would hit 70, 80%. So back to 25K. It'd be a miracle if it gets anything lower than that, but it wouldn't stay there that long. So, but it could be November to have to, but it could be November too. I have to look at the chart again and have the same discussion that you and Ruid had with me. Yeah, you trying to explain it to me while I was in the grader was a lot harder, but I think I understood it. So let's hope for the best. We'll find out. But let's look at quick intel. It is not as pretty as Bitcoin, but here's the cool part about quick intel. This is their high, 15 cents. So, like, gee williker, look at that. If it is at 1 cent right now, and it gets up to 15, you're times 15. I mean, times anything that you put into quick intel right now, times 15. So if you bought 1,000 tokens, which I think would be chump change, I think it'd be $1 actually. No, $10. I don't know. I can't do quick math. But if you were to do that, times it by 15, because it would be up to 15. And that would look pretty good. Being able to hold $50 worth of quick intel or $250 to use their tier system is worth it in my case, if you are one who wants to jump into DeFi. And what you really need to do is look at the previous halving, happen and base it off that start of the cycle. I will have to do a little more of that. Okay. What were we going to do? We were going to test out the scanner. Now, this is no log in or anything. So this is not basic plus, this is not all access, nothing. And we're going to give you kind of a walkthrough. Okay. So let's say you go to crypto or coin market cap and you want to start from the very beginning. You go to cryptocurrencies up here in the top left corner. Maybe. And then you go to recently added. And let's say we go to, this one was added 20 hours ago. Now, I am not saying buy this token. I am not saying trust this token. I'm not saying any of that. This is 50% of cryptocurrency in your research. You have to kind of see the first half of the code. Me personally, this is how I would do it. This is on Base. Base is on the EVM chain, Ethereum virtual machine. So there's kind of a cool thing about that. So you're going to go right here and you're going to copy your contract. Okay. The contract then goes to this slot right here and you paste it. Then you go down to the chain and Base is on this top line right here. If you just want to get a little more detail about the scanner, let's see if I can get this open right here. This right here is all the chains and scans for each blockchain. So obviously Ethereum has the most scans for that. And here's where it kind of gets interesting. In Telegram, you have over 300,000 scans. On the web, like what we're doing right now, you have 3 million. On Discord, you have 16,000. On the app, if you're using Android, 7,000. iOS or Apple, you have 7,000. Snap, which is MetaMask, you have 3,000. And in the last 7 days, there have been 404 scams. That's a lot. And then you do the same thing with Base. There are more scams that were found on Base. There are more people using Snap on Base. It seems like the trend for Telegram and Discord, you have more that scan on Telegram than Discord. Same thing here. Whoa, check that out. We're going to do this real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Here's the top 6. You have a Binance Smart Chain. The last 7 days, there have been 3,140 scams. On Solana, there have been over 1,000 scams. Pulse, only 9, so it seems like that one seems to be pretty low on that. And Arbitrum, 120. Based on the EVM, I just woke up, slept in today. Shame on you, you should be working out. So based on the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, you can run different contracts and find different results. If you're running something like Solana, and we'll share that with you, you can't get as much detail in the scanner. So let's zoom out of this and go back to regular size. We're going to close that list. And we're going to run this contract. Now again, this is all basic, free. You don't have to do anything with this. You can plug it into Dex Tools if you are checking this stuff out here. And let's get out of that chart. So as you can see here, this is their chart. You can see that people are buying and selling it. So if someone were to give you the contract, and say you saw it on Twitter and you saw, okay, this looks kind of funny. I have a good feeling that this could be the next meme and the most popular meme. You find that contract and you put it in here and you want to look at the chart. Okay. As far as I see here, it seemed like it was dying and people started buying it again. But if you notice right here on this, oh, I am still going to the gym, but not having to worry about streaming. I can go when I want. Yeah, that's right. Don't let people tell you what to do. Drink protein shakes. Get swole, man. Do squats. Don't skip out on those leg days. But I do. I miss your streams, man. So on this scan, you are very distracting. So this right here, this scan of Sky Mask Kitten, you see this right here. You have 2 audits. And this is where it kind of gets interesting. Everybody has their fair share of, I like this one better than that one. Honeypot is like the original. This is the one where we started something as looking for a crypto scanner, and then a big bag of baloney tarp wanted to mimic that. So if you were to click on that, this is what that is. Oh, it passes. Oh, it's warning. So from this, it's like, I'm not really sure where to go with this. You have your base, and there's a warning. Contract is close source. It tells Uniswap that has, let's say, I don't really know where to go with it. Then you have Go Plus, and then it goes through all this stuff right here. Uniswap has most of the tokens, all these check marks, the taxes. There's nothing really that gives me the boom attention. And so when you go to Quick Intel, oh, I already did that, didn't I? Yeah, I did it right there. It does the same thing. Only here's a couple things here. It says that the liquidity is not locked and that it's not verified. If you're confused about any of this stuff, okay, what happens to be a very cool trick is you just hover right over this little eye for information. And it tells you exactly what it is. And it will get more detailed because when you look at all of them, come on, renounced. Renouncing a contract indicates that there is no owner, and only owner actions can no longer be ran. So it's kind of like you wrote it in ink. Locked liquidity. Then you have verified. Verified is interesting. Verified is an interesting one. So what that is this. If you were to go to this on the base scan or Ethereum scan or Ether scan, the contract here is basically saying it's not up on this. So you can't verify it on the blockchain. That's exactly what that means. So the fact that they haven't submitted it to the blockchain, kind of a red flag for me. But anyway, there's the 2 audits. We're going to run that. So this is all basic. Remember that. You can't get shadow shield. When you scan it, you only get these things right here. You go to your tools, but then again, everything's locked. You have to upgrade. And you can upgrade it by clicking on it, and you can subscribe to one or the other. You do get a view of top holders, and you can see if it's verified. Verify is an extra step to show that you are serious about a project. And they have different KYC providers, and then you have different audit providers that you can go to their white paper and see who they go through. So that is Quick Intel on just basic. Now, if you were to do the same thing, we're going to go to refresh, scan it again. Now we're going to log in. Actually, I take that back. We're going to try another one just to show you something real quick. We went to Sky Mask Kitten, and we're going to go to something like BNB, because BNB, which one was one that had a lot of scams. Let's go to Fortcoin. Simpsons. There we go. Why not? we're going to go there and copy that contract. And again, I have no idea what is going on with any of these tokens. I am not affiliated with them. I am not saying to buy them. No, I don't want to connect my wallet. I just want to search. You gotta be joking me. I can't search things now. Yeah, you have to have your wallet connected to that stuff now. That doesn't sound right. Let's see if I can go like this instead. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't think I've ever checked that out yet. Okay, well then we're just gonna stick with Dex Tools. So I have S-Kitten up there for us to double check it after we do this. We're gonna check out SMS or Simpsons. Again, there are 2 warnings for the audit. And that comes overall with all of these. So more information says there's other risk that Quick Intel brings out. Doesn't mean it's an actual dangerous risk, it's just risky. And then you have one from Honeypot saying that the contract is not verified. See, this is where it kind of gets complicated because you have 2 scanners that say it is verified. You have one that says it's not. And that's where you kind of have to keep on doing your research. So let's say we ran Quick Intel, and all you have to do is click on it, and it will direct you right to it. This is where it's favored by me, okay? Honeypot test, caution. Why is it a caution? What is a honeypot? A honeypot is, you can buy, like this chart looks ridiculous. Like people are buying this token and no one is selling. Like it's great, like buy in when you get a chance. I'm not saying to do that, but that's the problem with that. It's saying be careful because people are buying and it doesn't look that like there's many sales. And if you look at the chart here, yeah, you see sales, big sales, big sales, another big sell. Like you see a lot of these big sells, but you see some of these small buys, but it doesn't seem like it's not really affecting the chart. So let's check it out. Quick Intel said it's a honeypot. And again, this is all basic. So there's nothing you can do besides checking out these security scans. You can go to show all. And this is where it, like, don't get overwhelmed by this stuff because it can get a little, I guess you would say, overcomplicated. But again, if you hover over these little eyes or information, it tells you what they are. And you can always throw them into ChatGPT or into Grok and say, can you explain this to me a little bit more? So proxy, no. Hidden address, no. But if you look at some of the stuff like lock liquidity, they can take this out right here is basically what it's saying. Whoever's the owner is saying, I can take this out because it's not locked. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, okay? Because some owners, like I know, for example, Quick Intel, when Ninja first started the project, everything was locked. He wanted to build trust with everybody, and he proved it with all of his utility, and he kind of proved it to us that we can trust him. And so now his contract, no, wait, I take that back. Is it locked? His contract is unlocked, I believe. Yeah, it's not locked, but we as holders he's earned my trust. I can't speak for everybody else. He's earned my trust when it comes to that, because you have other projects who decide to pull their liquidity, all of it, or they make excuses why they need to take half of it. That's a whole different story. I'm not going to get into that. So this doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. You just kind of have to do the other side of the do your own research and check them out for yourself as the developers. Are they able to be talked to in Telegram, or can you reach out to them on Twitter? If you were to, let's say, click on this, because this is kind of the extra security feature that Quick Intel has. But I can't get to it though because I don't have the upgrade. Well, let's check out some other tools. Well, I can't do that because this is all basic. So if I were You know, if I'm not using any kind of tier system on Quick Intel, and that's what I saw, that's what kind of would give me the heebie-jeebies and say I'm not going to deal with this kind of token that has a warning like that. But let's do this. We're going to log in and we're going to go to my all access. Okay. Now, being all access, it gets rid of all your ads. That's kind of a cool thing. You don't have all these flashy things trying to bug you down. And there's some other cool features. So one of the cool features that you have for basic, this is all access, I'm just trying to help you out here, is that when you click on that, you can now see all this information. If you can read Solidity code, then all you need is basic, because then you can kind of see what's going on, or if you know what to look for, or heck, if you want to copy and paste it, I guess. All access gives you this right here. You can't click on this in your basic. And error explaining or no code to explain. I believe that happened before, and I reached out to the team to show them that they were actually working on that. So whether that's a new Solidity code that scammers are trying to use to get away from this, the red flags on the scanners to try to beat the system, or I don't know what it is, but I'm sure they're going to get onto that as soon as possible. Shadow Shield. See, this is where Ninja kind of talked and gave his thoughts on what percentage you have to watch out for. I can't remember exactly what it was, whether it was the high 90s, low 90s, high 80s. When I see that much red, it kind of just worries me already. I mean, don't get me wrong. When it says honeypot test, that's kind of where I already said no. You have other access to these things like tools, and you can see what other contracts are like it. So you can see, you know, if this was a contract before and you checked it out and that's a different contract, and you scan that one and it turned out to be a scam, well, then you can probably be sure that this one's going to be a scam. Let's see another one. It's not verified. I doubt it. Yep. Top holders. Number one holder. That could be Pancake Swap. I don't know. But that's still a lot of tokens. So using that right there is enough for me to say, no, thank you. And it looks like somebody already scanned. Nope, that was me. I was the first one to scan that token. I think that would be cool if you have a login and you have all access and you are the one who scans tokens for the first one. You should get like a reward or some points or something like that, just to show that you're using the scanner and you're staying up to date with some of the new tokens out there. That way it helps the algorithm of the scanner and the AI, and it helps others kind of spread the word about the scanner. So we can kind of see what's going to go on there. Let's do another one. We actually did that last one, right? The kitten one. Let's see what that one does. It'll be exciting to see what happens on SMS or Simpsons. We're going to scan this one too as well. This one, again, is on base. There we go. So as you can see, the chart seems to be doing well, up and down, up and down. There's the token has not been verified. Shadow Shield works on verified contracts only. So that is a bummer. But again, why aren't you verifying the contract? Is it to try to get away from this stuff? Probably. Let's see. Catch up on I trust Ninja enough. I am giving him the rewards firstborn. Reward doesn't know it. Ruid, sorry. He doesn't have an option in it. I already told Ninja that. Well, I want my shield back because I sent him some in Discord. 90s would be sketchy. So if you're in the 90s on Shadow Shield, then be very wary of what's going on in the contract and the dev team. But let's see if I can find another one. This isn't just one way. So if you went to CoinMarketCap and you found those contracts, that's only one way. And now here's the interesting part. So let's say I go to Immortal token. No, let's go to, I want to go one that actually shows up and is verified. So I don't know how these guys show up here and are not able, or they are able to be on CoinMarketCap without a unverified contract. Let's see if I can do this. So this is the very, that's Solana, that's Solana, that's, let's try this one, Recycle X. Copy, scan it here, scan there, paste, base, Binance Smart Chain. That's how quick it is. I mean, I'm just used to it. That's why I can do it so fast. So these are all, and then look at that, just rugged. So what is it that it did that? If you can read that code, that's it. I'm gonna look at Shadow Shield. I'm assuming it, yeah, there goes the liquidity, all gone. 89. Scam code, hidden mint, delayed honeypot. What happened with that one? We're gonna click there and paste it. And it's gone. It doesn't seem like there was really much in there, but still, liquidity. See, the market cap was 39 million. How did that work out? Now there's only $77 for the liquidity. One thing you could use is this tool. Actually, there is a cool way to do this. I want to show you this if I have a chance, because I'm getting close to the end of my time. We're going to go to Orange Diamond, Orange Diamond. Why not? This has been on crypto or CoinMarketCap for a few days now. So if you were to scan this, again, you go to the scanner. You can go to Quick Intel, their website, quickintel.io, and you can go to scan a token. That's where all this shows up. You copy and paste the contract, BSC. Okay. This was created 3 weeks ago. Here is the suspicious code. And I think this is gonna, yeah, there's something going on with that. I wonder what's happening. Shadow Shield doesn't exactly say it's a malicious code because it's in the high 20s, but there is some worry. I believe the next thing I wanted to show you, oh, dang it. So this is one. If there are similar contracts, you could easily go to one of these and see what happens when you scan it. If you saw that it was Shadow Shield's AI telling you that it was a scam, there's a good chance that that similar contract is going to do the same thing. Or exact contracts. For example, if you copy that and you rescan it, remember, this is the one we just got for an exact contract. What happened to this one? It's a honeypot test. Be careful. Suspicious code. Shadow Shield. Still 23%, but still kind of worrisome. And the player has all the tokens. Another way you can do this for the scanner, not trying to throw too much at you, live new pairs. So if you're in Dex Tools, go to live new pairs, and then you can actually go down to, let's see where I can go here, initial liquidity, when it was added. Oh, right here. So this one right here has a total OPT. It has 18K in its liquidity. Copy and paste. We're going to rescan it. And I want to show you something different with this, because this again is BSC on the Ethereum. Whoa, that's kind of scary. Pink sale. Whoa, that's kind of tricky. Look at that. Hey, it's locked. 100% of it is locked on pink sale. Unlocks on 7/30/1984, or is that 2084? Kind of weird. Honeypot test. It passes. There's no taxes or anything like that. Shadow Shield says, oh, that is kind of scary. So this is why I like Shadow Shield, because of things like that. 9 times out of 10, this will be right. And I'm okay if it misses it once in a while, because it still does better than what I could do. Here are your tools. Again, similar contracts. Your top holders. It is not verified. There is a cool part about this right here, that it actually calculates how much, if there were taxes, how much it actually takes and gives to the team. I will say this one, for example. If you had ABC coin and it was on the Binance Smart or Ethereum, it doesn't matter what it would give 10% buys and 10% sales, and then it would tell you how much the team has accumulated. So if the team's saying we're out of money, and you look on here and it says that they have accumulated 100 Ethereum, that's a lot of money that they have taken. And might be a good question to ask is, where did that go? So now that we've done things like the Ethereum blockchain and the Binance Smart Chain, I bet you're kind of curious about what's going on with Solana and Sui. Well, here's the thing about that. They aren't exactly on the EVM, Ethereum virtual machine. So, you know where we're going to go. One that I have been looking at recently, did a few videos on it. It's Saitama Wolfpack. So we're going to go to the day chart and we're going to see what's going on there. And you're going to copy that address. Now, here's the thing about the scanner about Solana. You can only scan Solana if you have all access. So we are scanning Saitama Wolfpack. And again, this is why it's important that you do your other half of the research. So if this is 50% of your research, one thing that you have to look at is, what does the contract do? Now, if you were to look at these other chains like BNB, Base, Ethereum, anything on the Ethereum virtual machine, the EVM, the scanner is going to give you more results on the contract. And sadly, there's more malicious code in that kind of thing. Solana and Sui and a couple other ones aren't as complicated when it comes to that code. It's actually very simple. These are all the options that you have. Has liquidity locked or burned? Yes. Is it verified on the blockchain? Yes. Has delegated token ownership? No. Can mint? No. Can freeze trading? No. Can update fees and taxes? Yes. That would be something you'd probably want to worry about. I'm not saying you should worry about Saitama, because that's the other half of your research. If you go talk to their team and you start getting good feelers about them, and they explain to you a good reason why that all is, then you can have some confidence, like the reason why they do that is because of this. Or if they give you a better reason or a worse reason, that's where you can kind of fluctuate your thoughts on that actual project. Is data changeable? I get confused on this, but the metadata basically saying that you can change the information, like the names. I guess that's kind of what, it's not that you can change the contract. Can you change it? Yes. I wouldn't really be worried about that one unless they plan on changing in the name and completely changing faces of people who are associated with the project. You can't use Shadow Shield on Solana, which is kind of a bummer. You have your website, you have contracts, you have your holders. Top holder concentration, meaning they have most of the tokens in your top holders. Is there a high level of equal holdings? Yes. Could be another flag for you. It could be something that you talk to the team about again. Ask Tom, well, why are there so many 2% wallets? That is the other part of your do your own research is you ask yourself, have I checked out the contract? Do I feel comfortable with it? Then do your other part. Don't just buy it. Go to the team, go to their Twitter, go to their Telegram, go to their Discord, and try to ask questions. If they shun you away or block you, that should be a red flag enough for you. Oh, great. Vegas 2.0. Yeah, they're going to be going to Vegas. How that's going to go, I have no idea, but only time will tell. I will say this: I'm not going to be mad if it gets that high again. I will tell you this, Londart. I really hope if I can convince Tom to make a cartoon about Max, who was on the original Saitama team, who was going to make the app of Saitamask, and show him how he kind of went to the side and got another chance to make another app or totally a rug pull. Yes, I know the name says it all. We should have figured it out. And kind of make a storyline of the other two developers who started the crypto scanner. If we need utility, we're not going to build stuff without utility. Just Moonshot and Matt Mortar, because Matt Mortar was one who he was a beta tester for Saitamask. How, I have no idea. And Just Moonshot was one about trading and one the utility, and he was a coding guy. And when you see Ninja and the utility he has built, I mean, it was such a red flag. And even when people in their Discord started to bring up this scanner and how they showed how much they really hated him for pointing that out, it's like red flags all day long. So if I could get Tom to make a cartoon of how Max kind of peeled to the side and started something else with Matt Mortar and Just Moonshot, and kind of maybe put their name out there, maybe we can I would love to have a good laugh about that, because I'm sure they will pop their heads back into crypto when the bull run starts and start it all over again. I just hope they kind of stay away. I was going to support them, but after the V2, I walked. My coins are still in V1, and I am not worried about it. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I feel like when that whole first V1 thing, yeah, you brought that scanner up in Discord, man, which helped me a lot. And there's stupid NFTs. And that would be another funny cartoon of like, let's make another NFT for this and this and this, give you all access. And then we're only going to make 10, or we're only going to make 20, and then make an unlimited amount. It's like, how about that first couple years of your first time crypto? But I don't know. It's whatever, I guess. It would be a funny one. And I hope that that Tom is that sincere one. Maybe I'm just gullible, and maybe I just believe everything that comes out. But I feel like the genuineness behind it and what he has going for him. Hey, if you do watch the show and you get a chance to check out Lon Dart, I mean, he still has his V1 tokens. I mean, I'm not saying that you need to reach out, and he's going to reach out to you, but you keep on dishing some cartoons, and maybe even one about Max and TARP and their stupid crypto fake scanner. Maybe you might get him a laugh, and where he might want his V2 tokens back. I don't know. But this has been fun this morning. Who brought that up with the scanner? That was all Lon Dart that kind of unfolded that for some of us. And some kind of just died with that project. So if you ever get a chance to run some of these contracts, I'm more than happy to do this stuff again. If you get a chance to look at what Quick Intel is doing for APIs, like if you need some kind of help with your APIs. They do have two top exchanges when it comes to um, some popular people using their APIs. So it's not like they're going unnoticed. They're using their tools. Just one of these days, it's going to show up. And if it's businesses using that stuff, I mean, look, this is the cool part about them, is that they're getting this revenue into their project. And if I understood Ninja Dev correctly, they have a good 2-year supply of, I can run this project for 2 years and we're good. Instead of asking the team to keep on buying NFTs and buy this and buy that, and oh, we got to take half the liquidity out to pay our bills. Jesus Christ. Tom is a great guy, and no, do not change my V1 to V2. Consider them burned. Oh, there you go. I don't think you have to trade them in. I think he just sends them to you. Let's see. APIs, quick intel. If you have, this is one I always recommend to somebody. I know it's expensive, but I mean, quick intel is pretty well known. And if you go to their verify, get my project verified, you can submit all this stuff, your email information, the chain, the contract, KYC, and these are all the ones. If you have this KYC through these, then you can obviously do that. You can go to their audit providers and have those all done. But I will say, if you already have all that stuff done, then I would say it's easy for you to sign up for that stuff. If you have an audit already done and it's under these lists, well then, why not go get verified by Quick Intel? So all you would have to do is research that a little bit more and see if it'd be worth the while. I know if I see a check mark of verify on that, it is going to give me more confidence with that. So we'll just have to wait and see what other projects do with that. Yeah, but that's all I got. If you get a chance to check out Quick Intel, we kind of walk through the scanner. You can scan over 54, 59, or 58 blockchains, I believe, to be safe. You can use on browser. You can use it on Apple, Android. Just try to be safe out there. If you have any questions, feel free to check it. Comment in my questions below. Comment a question below. Well, good thing he will never know my wallet then. It also wasn't that much, so really not worried about it. It was whatever I had like left in my wallet, so like $9 maybe at the time. So if it somehow gets to 7 billion, you're right there with me, only half. I think I threw that post up there. My $20 at 7 billion market cap is like 150K. If it stays that high. And that means yours would be at like half. So I'm not trying to convince you, man. I don't care. I know there are just too many projects that burn us where it's like, nope, I'm done. I am tired of it. And I do feel like there are some who can earn some trust back, but there are some who just don't want to do it. This is why we scan our tokens. So if you get a chance, check out Quick Intel. I don't really have much more to go about this stuff. Thanks for joining my live stream. This is all about Quick Intel and their scanner. I get to get the kids up for school. I get to go to work. It rains, so it's gonna be a great day to go grading, unless it's still really wet, and then I'm gonna be bored. If you have a job that you love, I hope you have a great day at work. And if you hate your job, well, then I hope you survive. My name is Steve. Thanks for joining, and be safe out there.
Crypto camo's just a Midwest Joe. Tired of the scams, tired of the show. Hometown dreamer looking for a break. Trying to find trust in the moves he'll make. He heard about Quick Intel, scanning on the fly. Piggy Coin and TGT caught his keen eye. Buying up cup suey, trading safe and sound. No more